Otra vez como el 23, pero sin fiebre. ¿Cuánto tiempo? 3 segundos, yo la voy a meter de 3. En esta vuelta estoy maduro que Jordan el 9-3. Sigan prendiendo velita pa' que mi día no llegue, que ahora es.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to BarrelUp Podcast with your host, JeanCarlos. I got my boy Daryl here. What's going on, player?
Chillin'.
As you all know, the MLB spring training has started, but there has been a lot of moves. We already talked about Manny Machado in the past episode. His 10-year deal for $300 million, $30 million per year, with an opt-out at 5 years. He was the record holder at the time, but now things have changed. Let me tell you how. Bryce Harper to the Phillies. 13 years, $330 million. No opt-outs, no trade clause. What do you think about that?
It's a little, I'm not going to lie, it's a little strange. I've never seen that before. So many years, no opt-out, no trade clause. He's committed to that team. What I find remarkable is that he committed to the team without knowing if they're going to win, without knowing if he's going to stay healthy. I guess that was the best bet for him. As you can see, both Manny Machado and Bryce Harper were after the money. It's insane. This guy's going to average 25 minutes for the next 13 years. And the NL East now has gone all the way up. As I said, my favorites for the 2019 season were the Mets. Now, I don't know. Now the Phillies have a stacked lineup. Let me give you a little description of their lineup. You can go into their deck. But let me give you their lineup as I'm picturing it. So you got number 1, McCutchen in left. Number 2, John Segura is short. Number 3, Bryce Harper in right. Number 4, Rhys Hoskins in first base. Number 5, which I think this guy is going to really make the team what they are. JT Realmuto catching. Number 6, Michael Franco at third base. Number 7, Odubel Herrera in center field. And you have Cesar Hernandez, second base. And then the 9 spot, the pitcher. Oh, my God. Wow. You think they got space for me? I want to play for that team.
Oh, I wish, man. I wish they had space for me. Not only did this team get way better, but in a 24-hour span, they just broke, by signing Bryce Harper, they just literally broke the record for sales. $150,000 in sales in 24 hours.
That's a lot.
Oh my God. So now, as you all know, I'm a Met fan as well. We're stuck with Bryce Harper for the next 13 years. Like, I thought we were going to get rid of this guy. We weren't going to face this guy anymore. He was going to go somewhere else. Now he's in our division for 13 years. So, I don't know how that's going to work out. But, we'll see what happens. Now, let's try and compare the two deals. Machado and Harper. They're both at age 26. They've both played 7 seasons, right? Now, this is where things get iffy. Manny Machado has a lifetime batting average of 282, while Bryce Harper has a lifetime batting average of 279.
So they're right there, basically.
They're right there. Manny Machado has 1,050 hits. Bryce Harper has 922 hits. Manny Machado has 175 home runs. Bryce Harper has 184 home runs. Manny Machado has 513 RBIs. Bryce Harper has 521. This is what really stands out, though. Manny Machado's lifetime WAR is a 33.8, and Bryce Harper's a 27.4. Manny Machado's a 4-time All-Star, while Bryce is a 6-time All-Star. So 6 out of those 7 years, you've seen Bryce Harper in the All-Star game, basically. Manny Machado has 2 Gold Gloves, 1 Platinum Glove. Bryce Harper has 1 Silver Slugger. What do you think about the money difference? Who's worth what? Seeing these numbers.
With these numbers and the contracts that we're giving out, I think Machado's worth more per year because now he's getting 30. Bryce Harper's making about 25, 26 for a couple years. So I would say Machado's worth more. I think his stats prove that he was worth more. And it just goes to show that, there's a lot of money to be given out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good players out there to take it.
Okay. So if you had one choice to stick one of these players in your 3-hole, who are you choosing?
Machado, hands down.
Why?
Bryce Harper is I would say a 4-hitter at most, at best a 2-hitter.
Mm-hmm.
Machado he's an anchor. That 3 spots forever his. He's a forever 3-hitter. He can hit me home runs. He can get me them RBIs. He can hit for average. He can do it all. He can do it all. What I like about Machado, we all know he can hit. His defensive game, insane.
He's gonna give you stellar defense at short or at third. We all know that Fernando Tatis Jr. is likely to win the shortstop spot for the Padres, but I still think that we will see Machado at short here and there. We'll see what happens.
10 years, it's a long time.
Long time. He has an opt-out in 5 years. So we'll see. The other offers that were given out to Bryce Harper, the Dodgers offer him 4 years, $45 million. And San Francisco Giants offered him $340 million for 12 years. So he chose to go with a step above that, which was 13 years. So basically, we know that he wants to stay with this team, and he's going to stay with this team till he retires. Will we see a World Series championship in those 13 years with the Phillies?
They're saying yes. They're saying that in those 13 years, the Phillies can compete with him for 7 to 8 out of those 13.
Out of those 13?
I think they're a playoff team right now. With that lineup, that's a postseason team. That's a postseason lineup. That's a lineup I would want to be a part of.
Wow.
And,
anybody.
It's a good team right there.
And, notably enough, they have Aaron Nola as their number 1. Don't forget about Jake Arrieta.
That's their number 2.
So, and if they can get Craig Kimbrell to be in at their closer position,
that bullpen is stacked already.
It's stacked already.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I really hope somebody does get Craig Kimbrell though, because the guy is the best thing after Mariano Rivera, and he still hasn't signed. Mm-hmm. So hasn't Keuchel. So hasn't Gio Gonzalez. So there's still some players to get signed. We're about 28 days from opening day. There's still time, but these players need to get ready. So, teams, you have to hurry up. In other news, there was also a big signing that was done in Colorado. Nolan Arenado, he got $26 million for this year as a free agent for the Colorado Rockies. But not only did they give him that, they decided to extend his contract 8 years down the line after this year. 8 years, $260 million. Wow. So that means he's going to make around $32.5 million a year. Do you think he's worth that money?
Definitely. I think he's worth more than that, actually.
More than that?
More than that. That's a franchise player. Outside of Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, I think that's the third best in line as a franchise player. He could take that team into a whole new era, which he has already.
He has.
They emerged out of nowhere. Now they're contenders, sort of. But I think that was a good investment. It's a great guy to give it to. He plays the game hard. He's there all the time. Hasn't been injured. And he's basically the leader of that team.
But do you think that the Colorado Rockies will contend with just Arenado?
Not just with Arenado. I think they have to go outside, get some couple guys, couple pitchers, definitely. Even though they have a good farm system with the pitching. But they need to refurbish that outfield, that center field. That right field is not looking too good right now. That infield is kind of iffy. They got Daniel Murphy coming back, but he's playing first base now.
He's playing first?
Yeah.
They have Story.
Story
can give you 30 bombs plus. As a shortstop, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
My question is the pitching. We all know that you can have a stacked lineup of hitters, but if your pitching is not good, you're not going anywhere. So if Colorado wants to win, I suggest you go for pitching. There's a lot of good pitchers out there. So make your bet. Go for them. I still think that Manny Machado's worth a little bit more than Arenado. Not taking anything away from Arenado. Arenado's a great player, but Arenado can only play third base. Manny can play shortstop. Shortstop is a position that not everybody can contend and play every day, 162 games. Manny played 162 games last year. Mm-hmm. So, but well-deserved for Arenado. I'm very happy for him. I'm very happy for the Colorado Rockies. I do hope that they make it far. We'll see what happens. Now, interestingly enough, the MLB has opted out with the pitch clock. I thought that they should never have had the pitch clock because it's just like making the game too mechanical. Thank God that they got away. They got rid of it because now pitchers can focus on pitching their game at their pace. Not saying that the pitchers have to take 3 hours to deliver a ball, but come on, that was like taking, what's it called?
The mental edge.
Correct, and originality from the game. You know, I don't think that it should have ever been implemented. There could be other things that can be controlled in the game as far as time limits and all that, but not a pitch clock. What do you think about that?
I think it's good and bad, sort of. Now, the whole pitch clock was to decrease the length of a game. Mm-hmm. The game is pretty long, but the pitch clock does take away that mental edge from the pitcher. Then bottom half innings, then bottom 8-9 innings. Those are stressful situations that you have to really think about. You got to take your time, make sure you deliver the right pitch, and I think it's good and bad at the same time, but mostly good for the players.
I think it's great for the players because imagine in a playoff game, 2 outs in a tight situation where you have to really concentrate as a pitcher on the pitcher that you're going to deliver, but you have in the back of your head, you have
23,
22, 21. That's like even more pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And that could either shift a game this way or that way. So props to the MLB for coming together and deciding to eliminate that. Okay, my friend. Now things get interesting now. The Mets and Cano. Cano, don't you know? This guy has been mentoring Ahmed Rosario. Dominic Smith has been working with them, and we can see that whatever he's working on with them is really working because Ahmed Rosario is hitting the lights out of the ball in spring training. So is Dominic Smith. Dominic Smith is fighting for a position with the Mets. He's fighting for first base with Peter Alonso. We'll see who's going to win it, but also take into consideration that Peter Alonso is raking. He's hitting the lights out of the ball. He's hitting the ball just as we expected him to.
Cy Young winner was key in their 2016 playoff run against the Cubs in that World Series. I think he's pretty much going to be the top pitcher coming out of the market next year.
Okay.
Number 5, even though he has a couple injury-riddled seasons already, I will say Clayton Kershaw.
Clayton Kershaw. Those are some good names that you just named, and the way you thought about them, perfect. But I'm going to give you my top 5, and then we're going to discuss it a little bit. Number 1, Jacob deGrom. The guy has been lights out ever since he came into the league. When he came into the league, it wasn't his show. It was Matt Harvey's show. And he proved to the Mets and to the whole baseball world that he's worthy of that top 1 in the Mets and in baseball. He won Cy Young last year. Number 2, I agree with you, Chris Sale. He's a southpaw with the Red Sox. This guy, literally, I think he's if I were a major league hitter, I would not want to face Chris Sale. I can face deGrom, strike out all the time, but as far as facing him, he throws from here, man. I don't know how you can hit that. Number 3, Scherzer. I'll give it to Scherzer. Lights out with the Nationals. Lights out when he was with Detroit as well. Number 4, Verlander. Another guy that ever since he came into the league has dominated. This is like his 13th year in the league. The guy still throws 96. And he's an old school pitcher. And last but not least, I'll give it to Kershaw, number 5. Crazy thing is that 3 years ago, this list would have been all reversed. Kershaw would have been number 1. But Kershaw flunked last year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He's not a playoff pitcher. But the Dodgers still believe in him. They gave him a 3-year, $90-something million contract extension. Goes to show, okay, my boy June, he says Verlander. Verlander is a problem in the playoffs. Verlander, in my opinion, is a problem every day he goes out. Verlander, Clayton inconsistent in the playoffs. Correct, June. Correct. That's what we were just talking about. As a major league player, you could do great in the regular season, but when it comes to the playoffs, that's when you can see who's who. So yeah, June. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And this year is gonna get even crazier. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know who's gonna win, but I have my team. I picked the Red Sox still in the AL, and I picked the Mets in the NL. What do you think?
And I got the Dodgers, definitely. They added way too much to not go back. They got way too much back to not go back. AL is tough, man. AL is insane. I just don't know. AL, whew. I would like to, as a fan, I say the Red Sox. I need my boys to go back, repeat.
Repeat, man, repeat. Okay. To collaborate on what you just said. I want the Red Sox to win, like I said. But these Yankees, I don't think they're gonna stay with that second place finish, basically, of last year. No. They're gearing up. I think the Yankees are gonna go far. For those Yankee fans out there, I'm giving you some props and take it now. I'm giving you the props now. So we'll see what happens.
I say this about the Yankees. If they're to win this year, something has to happen to that team. Somebody has to get fired.
So,
coach, managers, gotta go. I think Brian Cashman's days are numbered, in my opinion.
Brian Cashman?
Yeah. Even though he's built a great team so far, but some of his signings don't make sense. Like DJ LeMahieu. You already got a stacked infield. Even with Didi gone, you still got a stacked infield. You got Tulowitzki. That deal didn't make sense.
But talking about Tulowitzki, though. Tulowitzki has been raking in the spring training. Tulowitzki, the first pitch he saw from his former teammate, Stroman, home run to right field. And then, like 3 days later, another home run. He has a lot to prove. So, yeah, maybe it didn't make sense because they have Didi, but until Didi gets back, he's going to be the shortstop. What happens when Didi gets back?
That's the thing. That's the mess Brian Cashman created. What's going to happen when he does come back? Who's going to move where? What's going to happen? You got the young guys, Andujar, Torres, and you got the kind of like the veterans, Tulowitzki, LeMahieu.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those veterans are Gold Glovers. Okay.
Bueno. I think that if Didi does not produce when he comes back, there's a chance that the Yankees might give Tulowitzki a 1-year deal. Because if he hits like he's hitting in the spring training, it's over. Eddie, mi hermano, ¿cómo tú estás, loco? Te tengo una pregunta. ¿Qué tú crees de los Yankees en este año por venir? ¿Qué tú crees que van a hacer? ¿Qué van a hacer los Yankees? ¿Se van a ir lejos en los playoffs o se van a morir? Dime, ¿qué tú crees? Estamos hablando de los Yankees ahora mismo. Y este es el programa, estamos en el programa. Pero yo quiero oír tu opinión. Dime, mi hermano. As far as another team in the AL, I don't see anybody else contending. It has to be the Yankees and the Red Sox again.
Yeah. Maybe the Astros, but they lost too many in their rotation.
They're in the other. They're talking about AL East.
Oh, AL East, okay.
As far as the Astros, I don't know. I feel mixed opinions for the Chicago White Sox.
They still got a long way to go. Lots to prove.
So, el amigo mío dice aquí, tienen un buen equipo y buena química. Tiene muchos veteranos. Está bien, pero ¿qué tú crees? ¿Cómo tú crees que ellos van a jugar este año? Tú sabes que ellos perdieron el año pasado, ganaron 100 juegos, pero no hicieron nada con eso. ¿Qué tú ves diferente para este año? ¿Qué tú ves diferente para este año 2019 con los Yankees? Eso es lo que yo quiero saber, eso es lo que el mundo quiere saber. ¿Hasta cuándo van a tener? Bueno, yo vivo aquí en Nueva York, pero no soy de los Yankees. Pero ¿hasta cuándo van a tener un equipo como el que tienen y no van a hacer nada? Esa es mi pregunta. Pueden tener todos los prospectos que tú quieras, pero imagínate, si no hacen nada, no hacen nada. So yeah, man. Yeah. As far as the NL, I like the Mets. But the Dodgers are still there. They got Seager back. Seager is an all-star. I don't know. I think the Dodgers are also a team that they're gonna do a lot of good things, man. Well, this is another interesting nuance that has happened in the MLB. The MLB has chosen an independent league as their new testing ground. Which league is that?
The Atlantic League.
The Atlantic League.
Right here in the East Coast, New York.
Correct. So what that means is that that's going to be a showcase, basically, a showcase ground for players who are still trying to take their talents to the professional leagues like the minor league baseball and MLB. Jordani Valdespin came out of that league. He's now with the Minnesota Twins. I think that's a great way to showcase your talent. I even thought about going and trying out for the league, bro. So, sky's the limit. Now, Eddie has responded. Mucha química. Lo hace todo. Tulo Whiskey le va a dar todo lo que faltaba al equipo. Y, okay. He thinks, él cree que pueden llegar más lejos. So, my friend Eddie is saying that the Yankees are going to go even further in the playoff run. But we will see. With that being said, today has been a great show. We're about to wrap it up. Darryl, thank you once again, my brother, for coming in.
My pleasure always.
And stay tuned for episode number 3. Take care.
Soy puré, yo tengo el puré, dame 33, apróbalo con la lengua, puede ser que a ti te dé, me busqué